Hey you, I'm here. And you're here with me as we read A Wizard of Earthsea, Chapter 4, Part 5. This is a long chapter. The last sentence. To be alone was his desire, for he feared the evil he might do or say unwittingly. Neither Vetch nor Jasper was there, and he did not ask about them. The boys he had led and lorded over were all ahead of him now, because of the months that he had lost, and that spring and summer. He studied with lads younger than himself. Nor did he shine among them, for the words of any spell, even the simplest illusion charm, came haltingly from his tongue, and his hands faltered at their craft. In autumn, he was to go once again to the isolate tower to study with the master namer. This task, which he had once dreaded, now pleased him, for silence was what he sought, and long learning where no spells are wrought, and where that power, which he knew was still in him, would never be called upon to act. The night before he left for the tower, a visitor came to his room, one wearing a brown traveling cloak and carrying a staff of oak shot with iron. Jed stood up at the sight of the wizard's staff. Sparrowhawk. At the sound of the voice, Jed raised his eyes. It was Vetch standing there, solid and foursquare as ever, his black, blunt face older, but his smile unchanged. On his shoulder crouched a little beast, brindle-furred and bright-eyed. He stayed with me while you were sick, and now I'm sorry to part with him. Sorrier to part with you, Sparrowhawk, but I'm going home. Here, Hoeg, go to your true master. Vetch patted the otak and set it on the floor. It went and sat on Jed's palate and began to wash its fur with a dry, brown tongue like a little leaf. Vetch laughed, but Jed could not smile. He bent down to hide his face, stroking the otak. I thought you wouldn't come to me, Vetch, he said. He did not mean any reproach. But Vetch answered, I couldn't come to you. The Master Herbal forbade me, and since winter I've been with the Master in the Grove, locked up myself. I was not free until I earned my staff. Listen, when you too are free, come to the East Reach. I will be waiting for you. There's good cheer in the little towns there, and wizards are well received. Free, Jed muttered, then shrugged a little, trying to smile. Vetch looked at him, not quite as he had used to look, with no less love but more wizardry, perhaps. He said gently, You won't stay bound to Roke forever. Well, I have thought, perhaps I may come to work with the Master in the Tower, to be of those who seek among the books and the stars for lost names, and so do no more harm, if not much good. Maybe, Vetch said. I'm no seer, but I see before you, not rooms and books, but far seas, and the fire of dragons, and the towers of cities, and all such things a hawk sees when he flies far and high. And behind me? What do you see behind me? Jed asked, and stood up as he spoke, so that the weir light that burned overhead between them sent his shadow back against the wall and floor. Then he turned his face aside and said, stammering, But tell me where you will go, what you will do. I will go home to see my brothers and the sister you've heard me speak of. I left her a little child, and and soon she'll be having her naming. It's strange to think of. And so I'll find me a job of wizardry somewhere among the little isles. Oh, I would stay and talk with you, but I can't. My ship goes out tonight, and tide is turning already. Sparrowhawk, if ever your way lies east, come to me, and if ever you need me, send for me. Call on me by my name, Estariel. At that, Jed lifted his scarred face, meeting his friend's eyes. Estariel, he said. My name is Jed. Then quietly they bade each other farewell, and Vetch turned and went down the stone hallway. Jed stood a while, like one who had received great news, and must enlarge his spirit to receive it. It was a great gift that Vetch had given him, the knowledge of his true name. No one knows a man's true name but himself and his namer. He may choose at length to tell it to his brother or his wife or his friend, yet even those few will never use it where any third person may hear. In front of other people they will, like other people, call him by his use name, his nickname, such a name as Sparrowhawk and Vetch and Ogayon, which means fir cone. If plain men hid their true name from all but a few they love, from all but a few they love and trust utterly, like you. So much more must wizardly men, being more dangerous and more endangered. Who knows a man's name holds that man's life in his keeping. Thus to Jed, who had lost faith in himself, Vetch had given that gift only a friend can give, the proof of unshakable trust. Jed sat down on his pallet and let the globe of Weirlight die, giving off, as it faded, a faint whiff of marsh gas. He petted the Otok, which stretched comfortably and went to sleep on his knee as if it had never slept anywhere else. The great house was silent. It came to Jed's mind that this was the eve of his own passage, the day on which Ogayon had given him his name. 4 years were gone since then. He remembered the coldness of the mountain spring through which he had walked, naked and unnamed. He fell to thinking of other bright pools in the river Ar, where he had used to swim, and of Ten Alders village under the great slanting forests of the mountain, of the shadows of morning across the dusty village street, the fire leaping under bellows blast in the smith's smelting pit on a winter afternoon, the witch's dark, fragrant hut where the air was heavy with smoke and wreathing spells. He had not thought of these things for a long time. He had not thought of these things. Now they came back to him. On this night, he was 17 years old. All the years and places of his brief, broken life came within his mind's reach and made a whole again. He knew once more, at last, after this long, bitter, wasted time, who he was and where he was. But where he must go in the years to come, that he could not see, and he feared to see it. The next morning he set out across the island, the Otok riding on his shoulder as it had used to. This time it took him 3 days, not 2, to walk to the isolate tower and he was bone weary when he came in sight of the tower above the spitting, hissing seas of the northern cape. Inside, it was dark as he remembered, and cold as he remembered, and Curum Carmaruk sat on his high seat, writing down lists of names. He glanced at Jed and said, without welcome, as if Jed had never been away, "Go to bed. Tired is stupid. Tomorrow you may open the Book of Undertakings of the Makers, learning the names therein." I'll pause there tonight and hope you found delight in the small words I've shared with you. So go to dreams. The stars are asleep, and I'll see you there, me and you.